We trample all over it, but that does not mean it's not important. It plays a huge part in how the house looks with its colour scheme. So, don't be flawed. This is your new home.
Jane has some big decisions to make about her carpet and flooring. With carpet covering such a big area, it's an important choice that will affect all the rest of Jane's decorating choices.
So, I guess what we need to look at today is your floor. Start with your flooring. So, what's going to be going where? So, we're thinking taking your hard flooring through here and into the kitchen.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely. The other thought that I did have was I really wanted to put the hard floor going through into the dining room.
Yep, so just to extend right out here.
Yeah, I thought it would be better with MIDI and everything.
Definitely.
Food-wise.
Yes, much more serviceable too. So yeah, just low maintenance.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. And continuing that same flooring into the bathroom and the toilet here, or?
I do have an idea about something that I really like, and I would like to use it. I think it's going to be too much through the kitchen area. I really like black and white check.
Yeah.
And I thought it could be pretty overpowering for the kitchen area.
Through that main area, yeah, especially probably on that bigger size.
Yeah. But I was thinking maybe possibly putting it into my ensuite.
Yeah.
And kind of having a bit of a theme running through my bedroom, black and white kind of thing.
Excellent. Just kind of make a wee bit of your space, make it a wee bit edgier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I quite like that too, because it's also bringing a bit of the era of the original house in as well. So yeah, it would be quite nice to reintroduce that, and just doing the black and white thing will modernise it a wee bit as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, we'll start by looking at your carpet, so we'll just pop up to those and I'll show you what ranges we've got to look at and what they're all about. So what we've got here is Norman Allison's Augusta, which is a 100% solution dyed nylon. Oh. So the advantages of that are it's fade resistant property, so you've got quite a few windows there, so that's going to be quite good for the amount of sun exposure it's going to get. Also, it's inherently stain resistant because the fibre doesn't absorb. So once again with MIDI, it's going to be really, really practical and serviceable. You can also steam clean it every 18 months, 2 years. In fact, they recommend that you do that. So, you're not doing any damage to your carpet by doing that. So, it's really kind of low maintenance. Did you have any thoughts on what kind of direction you're wanting to head with your colour?
I really like the darker kind of these ones.
Yeah.
I'm just not 100% sure that that's really going to suit our lifestyle with MIDI and the dog. Kruger is an inside dog, so maybe going into something else that's got a bit of a speck or something through it could maybe work better. What do you think? Yeah,
well, you'll find the darker you go with your carpet, the more it is going to show everything up. So unless you want to vacuum every day.
I know, it looks so good. I really like. But then I don't really like the lighter colours.
Yeah.
Again, with having MIDI and
just keeping it nice and serviceable. Well, if we went for something like this one here, it's kind of the best of both worlds because you're getting that darker colour which gives you the depth on the floor, but that fleck just is going to disguise a whole lot more. So does your dog shed at all? Because things like dog hair and that.
Yeah, and he's white.
Yeah. So definitely something like that is going to be really good for just being a lot more serviceable.
Yeah. So that's definitely, these kind of darker ones are the ones I like.
Yeah.
Possibly these, but I think they might I like the more grey tones as opposed to the brownie
tones.
Yeah.
Great, well I'm really happy with that. So shall we move on and have a look at some vinyl planks with it?
Yes, that'd be
great.
Awesome.
So that brings us up to your paint colours. So the allowance basically through the house is for 4 white base colours. So have you had any thoughts about what you're wanting to do, whether you want to change it from room to room or?
No, I think I want to keep it pretty similar throughout, just kind of have that flow. I've spoken to a few friends that have got with different colours like white and those kind of things. I'm mainly worried about them getting dirty and with MIDI and stuff like that with being quite white, but I think the positives I like about it is that it just brings in so much light, and on a cold yucky day it's still going to be quite light and bright.
Yeah, it keeps it nice and open too. Yeah. Well, Dulux, they use the wash and wear paint, so they are wipeable, so that is going to be helpful. And maybe if we opt for something that's not, so that's like a really white, but maybe if we opt for something that's just a little bit deeper, so the likes of Mount Aspiring, which is that one there. So, when you compare it, it looks quite grey. but you know, when you get that on the wall and away from a bright white, it does look white. So
is that kind of like a black-white kind of?
Yes, yeah, very similar.
Yeah, because I don't really like those kind of creamy tones. I like more in the grey to kind of tie in with this.
Yeah, which I think that's going to achieve too, so that would be quite perfect.
Great.
So we could definitely flow that right through and then just go for the crisper white on the ceiling, which is just going to give you a wee bit of height. So we've got a selection of those kind of grey tones that you quite like here. We've got, you know, kind of a darker option, the lighter option, or this sort of look through the middle here, which is quite nice because it's got quite a bit more detail in it. And with that larger area that you're doing through the dining kitchen, we don't want anything that's going to wash out. And I would be a little bit concerned that something this light is just going to look like a white floor when we get it down. So how do you feel about what we're sort of looking at here?
I do like all of them, and I do like how this is a little bit more kind of natural. I think this could be kind of hard to keep clean. It's going to show up a lot of
yeah, and you'll definitely find, same with the carpet, the darker you go, the more it is going to show any marks or anything like that. So I think we can probably eliminate that one from the mix.
I'm also thinking this one here is just a little bit too light.
Yeah.
And this one here, I think, goes with this really well.
Yeah, I think it goes really well as well.
So I think this ties in really well. I'm trying to imagine this over a broad space. So
yes. Also thinking about it's going into the bathroom and the toilet as well. It's got that detail and a little bit of warmth in there, which is quite nice because they can be quite sterile environments. So you know, you generally have your white shower and your white bath. So I think that would be really nice in there as well.
Yeah. Do you think they do tone?
Yeah, really well. You've got these kind of tones here, which are really coming out in the grain of the timber there. So I think that looks really smart together.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Nice and modern, but you know, once again, of course, practical. And I think that's going to be work really well together.
These two, these are the ones I like.
Excellent.
Yeah, definitely. And Mum, this is fade resistant.
So just moving back to the ensuite, so checkerboard black and white look, that's the sort of thing you're after there? Yeah.
Definitely. This
Great.
is the look I was going for. I spoke to Dusty about it and actually said I'd wanted to put it through the entranceway, kitchen, dining area.
And he freaked out?
Yeah, completely. And I do kind of see his point. It's probably going to be a bit too much in that area. I'd still like to incorporate it in the house though.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's going to be nice in the bed, in the ensuite. Yes. Yeah. It's just going to lift that space a little bit more. You've got that sharp contrast in what otherwise could be quite a washed out space. So I think it's going to look really good.
Definitely. And I can't wait to see Dusty's face when he actually sees it down. He will turn around and say, "Jay, great choice."
Yeah.
I'm sure he will.
Well, Dustin might say great choice, but what will Jane say to Ivan when they catch up at her Sumner home? Will the plumbing be able to take the heat? Find out next on Your New Home. At Jane's house, work's taking place on the pre-pipe stage of the plumbing. Ivan explains how the plumbers are fitting the pipes within the wall cavities.
G'day, we're back at Jane's. Lots changed since we were last here, which is good. And I just want to talk briefly about plumbing. It's obviously pretty important that people have plumbing in their houses, and what we've done at this stage here is we've started the pre-pipe of Jane's house. These two grey pipes are actually plastic, or a very high density plastic. I think it's called Butaline for a brand name. Another plug for the sponsor, but anyway, water simply hot and cold comes through these pipes into this piece here, which is a mixer. This is actually a bath mixer. So this is what you typically see on the outside of your bath to control the water with this lever here. This is really important the plumber gets these sealed correctly, both here and there, because if he doesn't, obviously they'll leak inside the wall, and that's normally not a good thing. So that's typical of what you see in a shower and a bath in any modern home these days. At Jadine's house we had different toilet systems in the house. This one here is called an in-wall system. You can see a metal frame that's supported by the framing timber, and that bit of plastic there is actually where the water gets stored, and in behind here is the flushing mechanism.
So this is a suspended?
Yeah, suspended or a wall hung.
Okay, wall hung, okay.
So basically the main difference with your toilet and other toilets, like a standard toilet, most builders just put a toilet on the floor and the cistern's visible. So if that was the cistern, it would be sitting outside your board lining. These are really nice, and that's why you selected them. because I know you wanted them all the time. But it's just important to note that these aren't, in most plumbers' eyes, as good as a traditional toilet because there's not as much water to flush away
Now
waste.
you tell me.
Yeah. So my tip, because I've still got a tip of the day, my tip is lots of fibre in your diet. It'll be fine. But they're actually really
You're
good.
being serious, because I didn't realise that.
Yeah, there's not enough. There's enough water, but there's the typical European toilets where you're
Right.
saving water.
Right,
Kiwis don't
okay.
think about saving water.
Yeah.
Yes, we should. So if anything, you're saving water. Eventually, in Christchurch, I imagine we'll get charged for water. You'll get X
Well,
amount.
I'm used to that when I was
Yeah.
in Auckland and in Sydney. Yeah.
And obviously in Europe, water's more of a precious commodity. It's becoming more so here as we use more of it for farming, particularly, because our water's what we're using in here you can drink,
Yeah.
not out of the bowl. Don't try that. Just in the system.
That was the animals.
And this here is just to add some insulation because in a really cold morning, the water's coming into your house at 5 degrees, and of course your room's going to be 15, 20 degrees
Right, so
perhaps.
you'll get condensation,
so
yeah.
it's to stop that.
So this will be tiled over,
Yes.
but it will be lifted. How do you obviously be able to access it somehow?
No, basically with this, the only thing you can access is this, the flushing mechanism. You shouldn't have to access this at all.
Right, okay.
Nor the metal frame because that's supporting the weight of the toilet.
Right, okay.
So it's only this area here. You can see the 4 screws.
Yep.
They take that, the whole flushing mechanism can be
okay then.
maintained if it needs to be.
Yep.
They're pretty much problem free. I don't have any problems with the ones we use. We don't use them often
Yep.
because they weren't horrifically more expensive,
They
were
were,
they?
they were marginally more
Yeah.
expensive, but I just think, just
Okay.
from a cleaning, but just from a cleaning perspective, I just like the idea that everything's suspended. It
Yeah.
makes it so much easier.
And that's just a temporary cover so no one damages this when the jib
Right.
board's installed.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ivan, and this is my tip of the day. Water heating and plumbing. Two of the most important things in your home, particularly water heating. At Fowler Homes, we've looked at these in many different ways, and we've found that solar hot water is one of the most efficient ways to heat your hot water. For that reason, we put in a solar-ready hot water cylinder in every home that we build. Normally it's 300 litres, larger than we probably need, but no one's going to complain I've got too much hot water. Connected to the hot water system obviously is your taps. Again, we focus on having a really high quality tap to reduce water usage and to get star rated taps. We use a product from Dorf Caroma and have done for many, many years. So water efficiency is really good, keeps your power bill down really low, and with modern families using lots of water and showering 2 or 3 times a day in some cases, the tip of the day is use effective hot water heating. That's my tip of the day.
Ivan is walking Jane through the electrical plan, checking on the placement of light switches and plugs. These are important decisions to make before the jib board goes on, and making a change is no longer an easy option.
Here we are in Jane's bedroom. Don't tell my wife.
Have you brought Michelle over to see the house?
No, she's been here several times. I can't
Right.
keep her away. She loves this area. She wants us to live here when we're childrenless. But anyway,
But I can show you the back land if you like.
no, I'm not living behind you. You're really knocking my daughter in maintenance. But actually, in Jane's bedroom, it's quite surprising. Actually, I had never noticed this before. You're probably in the single strongest part of the building, full stop.
Because of all the metal beams.
Got a metal beam here. You've got a massive metal beam here, a massive metal beam there. But John, our electrician from All Wired Up, there's a plug for John, the electrician. He spoke to Jane, spent an inordinate amount of time.
A lot of time here,
Yeah.
actually. We actually had 2 stages. I met him at his place and we went through the plans on paper, and then we came here and walked through as though I was actually living here, and to make sure that what on paper looked fine actually plays out when you're actually
Yeah.
sitting around. So, yeah.
Well, John would be here himself, but he's a bit camera shy, but never mind. So he's discussed with Jane, and Jane's chosen.
I just kept saying yes to everything he said on the theory that he knows more than I do.
He said that Jane's a really nice lady, and that makes sense. And, which you are, of course. But,
No, absolutely, except when I'm tired, yeah.
So Jane's got LEDs through her house, which anybody watching will be familiar with. Yes, they're more expensive, they're cheaper to run, but anything that's generally better costs more upfront. But the long term, that the money comes back to you. And also, they're quite a nice light. They produce quite a different light to the traditional incandescent bulb. And then Jane's obviously got some plugs and switches, so she doesn't have to get out of bed to switch the lights off.
Well, I think it was quite a good idea to have when you walk in, there's a light switch down there because it's quite some distance, and then you can turn it off here. So that's quite good.
So
and
you
of course,
sleep on the right-hand side of bed.
You're as bad as John.
Well, you do, because this is the light switches.
Oh, is it?
You would have put on the left-hand side.
I don't think I got asked on that particular question.
Didn't you? Well, you're sleeping on the left. Seriously?
I'm not sure. It doesn't matter anyway.
No, it does, because it'll
I
annoy
have to
you.
think about that.
It won't be good, will it, Dustin? If Jane's got to reach from this side
Right.
to that side to switch the light switch off. So now we can get John to mend that.
Okay, I need to think about it.
You can sort of see what we're talking about. It's a little bit flippant, bit laughy, but it's pretty important to get the switches and plugs where you need them, not where we want them, because we're not living here.
Jadine's made her flooring choices, so how will they look when the vinyl planking goes down? And in her bathroom, will black and white look all right? Find out next on Your New Home. At Jadine's house, Dustin has taken delivery of the vinyl planking and the installation has begun.
Okay, so today we're at the vinyl planking stage for Jadine. Now she's got quite a large area in the kitchen and in the dining room that's got vinyl planks. Now they are, like they say, they're a vinyl product about 1.5 mil thick. You get a number of different finishes in the range. This is quite a nice one because it's a timber looking one and it gets laid individually. Now the good thing about this particular product is that if you were to damage it in some way, you can actually just remove one plank, pick it, pull it up and put a pretty fresh one down. So you always get left over with some spares. Prior to the planks going down, there's a lot of preparation that goes into the floor first. So the guys actually come in here with a laser and they'll grind the floor and if need to, they'll put some levelling compound in. So when the floor first goes down, it's never, bang on. It's bloody hard to get it perfect. So a quick grind or a bit of a fill, just in little low spots. Because this product's really thin, if you don't get the preparation right, you'll see defects in the floor. So same as painting, preparation's the key. And once it's down, it's really warm underfoot and looks really, really nice. And she's chosen a really good colour, so that's going to work well. And the boys will get that finished off today. Hi, I'm Dustin. When it comes to stage payments, this is my advice. Stage payments, or progress payments as they're commonly known, with Fowler Homes we have 17 progress payments, which for the homeowner and the builder and the banks is really, really good. It means that the payments for your construction are spread out over the duration of the build. You're only really paying for what you've got on site. So interest is really only payable at small amounts. You're not drawing down large sums of money at any one time. So the best thing to do really is look at your contract, look at how many progress payments you've got, make sure you're comfortable with that, make sure your lender's comfortable with it, and spread them out throughout the duration and keep things really simple.
Jadine's excitement with her build has made her impatient, so last night she popped in when the builders had left to check out the flooring and got a surprise.
Last night, popped in, just thought I'd quickly pop into the house, see what was happening, and the floors were in. So in the kitchen there's the kind of wooden planking that's all gone in, and the colour just looks amazing, so much better than just seeing the small sample that you get. It's just the right tone grey, and it matches and just goes in with the whole kitchen. This floor here, however, is just fantastic. It's exactly what I wanted. The black and white check, it's going to just tie in with the bedroom. Now I've just got to do curtains and all of those kind of things as well. So the black and white theme's just going to go all the way through. It looks amazing. I'm so glad I went with, my gut, what I really wanted with this flooring. Everyone was kind of like, no, just stay nice and plain and neutral, and which I wanted to do something a little bit different. I don't think I'm probably ever going to build a house again, so I wanted to do these, they're small wee things, with the black wall and the check floor, and it was my opportunity to do something a little bit different in my area, so yeah, definitely made the right choice.
Jadine's thrilled with her black and white bathroom floor. While it looks like tiles, Dustin explains how the vinyl sheet will be warmer and softer underfoot than ceramic tiles.
So as you've seen, Jadine's done something just a little bit different in her ensuite, and she's gone with this black and white checkered vinyl. Now, this is a bit different to the stuff that's in the kitchen and some of the other areas where it's actually a full vinyl sheet. So a bit like the old days, you know, when you used to get a big long sheet, put it down on the floor and it was just all one piece. So that's what's happening with this particular product. And again, she's gone with a really good one because it's quite soft and rubbery, so it's quite warm underfoot and quite forgiving. So, you know, I mean, some people prefer to have ceramic tiles. I mean, they can be cold and very hard. So again, it's one of those things where it's owner's preference, and in Jadine's case, this is the look that she was after, and this is the product that she's chosen. So that's really cool. It looks great. I was a little bit sceptical, to be honest, when I first saw it, but now that it's down, I think it's doing everything right. Matches what's going on with her bedroom and so forth. So that's cool. Okay, so today we're up to the tiling. So as you can see, we've made a bath cradle. Now this is quite common for us. We build these wee cradles, we insert the bath in the middle there, and we tile around it. So it gives you quite a nice feature when it comes to the bathroom. It means that you end up with a little bit of room either side of the bath. You know, you can put, you know, decorative stuff, candles or whatever you want to do. Kids' toys, if there are any. Gives the kids a bit of room to splash around, but also makes a nice feature of the bathroom. And when it comes to tiles, as you'd probably know, there's a huge range of tiles that you can choose from, and they all vary dramatically in quality. So again, one of those components that if you want a nice tile, don't go for the cheapest one. Sort of a good mid-range tile will be the right thing to do. A lot of people create features of these areas, so they'll have like strips of tiles. They might have some different colour ones. It can be quite visually appealing when you come into a bathroom. So the guys have done really well here. It's all been grouted and sealed, literally ready to put that bath in. And in Jadine's case, this is one of the only areas that we've got tiled. We've got some tiles above the vanities as well, but just a small strip. So I'm quite happy with that, and so far looking pretty good.
Meanwhile, Jadine has a dilemma, and it's a big one. So who does she call? Well, Dustin, of course.
Okay, I come down a few days ago and the Sparkies were here and they said to me, oh, hey Jay, you're supplying your own aerial for the house. And I clean forgot all about it, and I said, yes I am. And they said, well, you need to get it here in a couple of days. And of course I'm thinking, how on earth am I going to get an aerial? It's only down the road, but I need to get it from there to here, and it is kind of big. It wasn't going to fit in the Falcon. So I gave old Dusty a call and said, hey, how you going? Can you help me out with something? Yeah, sure mate, yep. And I said, I need to move my aerial. So Dusty got his toolbox out, started undoing the aerial and kind of had it in bits and pieces. We got it on the back of the truck. I did actually help lift it. And so, you know, that just, for me, building with Fowlers and Dusty being my project manager, you know, they definitely go the extra mile. Dustin goes out of his way to help wherever he can, just to make the build smoother, and it's just ticking along quite nicely. And so now I'm actually hoping that Dusty might help me hang my curtain rails. So, and I've got a couple of blinds to go in the front, so, you know, that's definitely going the extra mile.
Dustin promised Jadine he'd put up her aerial. However, there's a problem. But Dustin has the solution. Good on you, Dustin.
Okay, so earlier today you would have seen Jadine made me come and pick up this aerial. Now, having seen this aerial now, I didn't say anything to her at the time, but I'm not going to put this aerial up. This is like trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. So what I've done, I haven't said anything to Jadine. I haven't talked to the boys at Laser Electrical, and we're going to put a brand new aerial on the roof. I can't put this old aerial on a brand new house. It would work absolutely fine, but it just looks hideous. So she doesn't know it yet, but I'm not going to chuck this up. We're going to give her a new one, and she should be pretty stoked for that.
Next time on Your New Home, we check out what Dustin and Ivan are up to at the Canterbury Home Show, and it's time for Jadine's carpet to be laid. Will Jane get to see anything new happening at her house? That's next time on Your New Home.